Okay, so Love, Death, and Robots, episode 7, Beyond the Aquila Rift. Okay, so the animation in this episode is mind-blowing, just like the first episode of the show, but probably even a little better. Good lord. I had to stop and pause it multiple times just to make sure I wasn't watching actual humans on the screen. The details just in the little things like facial hair is something I've never seen before. It was very eerie just to watch. This is groundbreaking stuff. So we meet our main character here, Tom. Looks like Hugh Jackman with a short haircut, and he is with his crew. And they end up being light years off of the course they were on. He literally wakes up from his hypersleep not knowing where he is. You see system errors all over the place. But a woman he recognizes from Earth, Greta, comes in and tells him there's an error in the routing plot. So again, knowing the twist of the whole episode, that, to avoid confusion here, the spider alien creature you see at the end is its own thing that makes simulations to these people who land on its planet to calm them into their acceptance of the reality they're in, where they're never going back home. Some of the people on the ship are dead. They're skinny, they're frail, and they're around terrifying aliens. But that creature you saw at the end is the Greta you're seeing. It knows to become the person that's comforting their desires and things that they can slowly introduce the harsh realities of this new world to them, but using things that will keep them at a pace of accepting it slowly and surely. And now, really his big desires and something that would distract him is him at the bar now with Greta. And she's dressed to the nines, and she's flaunting herself to Tom. And the key thing here is she's over-aggressive, so that was a big hint that obviously she's not what she seems. And she's super nice and just constantly complimenting him, talking about the past and regretting not seeing each other after an old fling they had. To be enough of a person he'd lust for, distracted by, and care about. So now we get the most realistic sex animated scene I've ever seen in my life. And they just start showing off with these effects, especially when she's pouring the champagne on her body. This scene scares me how real it looks. I can't imagine what was going on through people's heads during a scene like this. I know I was sweating a bit, but I had to ignore it. It's just a computer animation. It's just a computer animation. But you see after this sex, Greta slowly now is letting the dog down and telling Tom kind of what's going on. Saying how far they are from home. Several hundred years have passed back home. It's also hinting the twist because no way would Tom look this good at that age. And this is important lines here too because she says these exact lines in the last shot of the episode, because now she can start the next simulation with more information because he's a little more prepared. So we get another big hint because we see Susie wakes up again and is telling Tom that is not Greta. So then Tom's putting the pieces together. Feels a little rushed, obviously because it's a short, fortunately. But he confronts her and says, "You're not really the Greta, are you?" And we learn it's all a simulation. And this causes Tom to snap. And he's like, who's feeding me this fake reality, this fake Greta? And you see this fake Greta saying, which is this alien talking, "You don't know how many lost souls I've been through this with. I don't want to hurt you, Tom. You're not ready." And he convinces her to show him, but she says, "All right, but do understand I do care for you. I care for all the lost souls that ended up here." So you see, this alien creature is actually good intentions. I like that. That felt like a fresh take to a kind of reveal we've seen like this before. It's usually that the alien monster is evil and it's all bad news, but this terrifying monster you see is actually good, which was kind of cool. But this was so freaking cool, the animation and just the scenery and how dark it was when he sees what's really going on. He's old, he's frail, and he sees this horrifying alien. But then the next simulation starts. He wakes up from another hypersleep. This time Greta comes again, but starts with a new opening with a little more info this time. Again, it's just slowly introducing him to this harsh reality and how to learn to coexist, I guess, with these creatures now. Really cool concept, and I love the closing shot showing you from an outer perspective of the ship, and then it changing again to the harsh reality to remind you one last time what's going on. It's also a little interesting, thoughtful piece to Really show you how you could possibly treat someone before you know they're going to be introduced to some type of trauma or after a trauma, to ease them into what's really going on in their life. I'm sure psychiatrists and therapists have to think of this stuff all the time, approaching people and getting to the bottom of things and harsh truths that we all have deep down. This is a super strong episode, amazing animation like the first one, but I didn't love this episode as much as some people did. I didn't feel as attached to Tom as maybe I would have liked to, and again, the type of twist it was still felt predictable from the start, but what saved it for me from getting really pissed off about it again was them making the alien good. And also, I didn't like the corny on the nose music in this episode. Literally, with one of the lines saying in the song that's really cheesy, "I just don't know what to believe." Come on. Who's picking that? That sounds like something from a 5th grader's iPod. Whichever 5th grader is still using an iPod. But incredible voice acting. I like the concept. I like the message. Really just a think piece. And for a short, I'm going to give it a little extra credit and a little curve because it's extremely hard to pull a lot of things off in such a short amount of time. So this one's going to get, for me, an 8.7. Let me know what you thought of it down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I read every comment and try to respond as many as I can. Please subscribe so you don't miss one of my reviews of Death, Love, and Robots, and I review a bunch of other shows as well. And please follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram to see bonus reviews I do of movies that come out so you don't want to miss those. And I'll see you next time.